Hello and welcome back to the series. Now, I want to complete this mission story today because I've already missed one dailies on this account, and yeah, it's not looking good. I have to wait until the trial on the following day. Let's fast forward time. Made in heavens. Okay, no need to laugh at me, right? No need to laugh at me. I'm just gonna the past time rewind just did not happen. Okay. All right. Participate in the trial. Let's go. Ooh, good point. That area looks really beautiful. Oh, can we sit on these upper seats? Yeah. Ah. I guess we can't. Yes, we can.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
The trial is today. We have to figure out something.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
You're right about that.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Wait, we're going? Where are we going? Oh, we're going to the stand. All right. Hey, we are up here.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
Not in your favor, buddy.
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed.
She's not sitting up at the top. I guess she's supposed to be our enemy. Whatever you want to call it.
That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
Oh, we have an audience.
Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
You might have a better explanation of the trick then, I guess.
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
Oh, everyone heard a thud.
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
There's also the broken vase underground and spilled water. Oh, no.
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Oh, no.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, how did he not
Yeah,
know?
I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Also, the oratrice is like some kind of an AI, and it's taking the judgment of the audience. That's how it works. But given how the audience has been acting before this trial, I don't know. I don't know.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye.
Oh!
Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
Tui? But Tui? Tui?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
What is
That's
that?
irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
That's also fair.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it.
These zoom-ins, and these dramatic cuts, I like those. I really like those.
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Preparations.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth.
Okay, first off, you have no reason to believe he wasn't in the tunnel. I mean, where else could he be? And second, the second point, to a degree, it doesn't matter. The Fatui have been causing trouble all across the nation, but yeah.
Are these claims true?
There's no doubt about a magician's ability to con others, given how Linny has concealed his identity. This could all have been set up beforehand. Yeah. Plus, Child is... Oh, right, he was here too. I actually remember. He gave me his vision. He's here in Fontaine along with other house operatives. There must be some scheme at work. Aww. I have been a victim of such schemes before, and now I've...
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
So you weren't in the tunnel as well. Oh, actually, that makes sense. Yeah, if he didn't hear the thud, then he wouldn't have been in the tunnel either.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
Whoa, calm down, lady. You don't know where the girl is.
What should we do now?
Granted.
My client has withheld some key information.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be
Is
discussed.
that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
Shut your fucking mouth.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
Thank
So
God.
you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
Okay, I'm a lawyer, okay? I want Saul Goodman. There is always more than what you expect, right?
In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
I cut off that laugh accidentally. Peter, Lenny, and Lynette backstage in the upper house. Alright, speak up, you two. What the hell is going on?
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up.
Oh, so she dug information about them. Alright.
I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two.
Apology isn't accepted for now.
We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before.
You
I
know.
wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset.
Actually, of course he would know, because hey, he is part of the Fatui, and then every single time we fought the Fatui, it was a big scandal. Yeah, you know.
But
he
our
knows.
organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
Hmm? Hey. Well, the first nation had a dragon. The second had a water octopus. No, a kraken. It was a kraken. Then the third nation had a misguided shogun. What does this nation have?
I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
Hmm? Yeah, how can we know this isn't all just another lie?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, but still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Give me a reason. Trust you.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Yeah. Where did you actually go while the trick was being
Right.
performed?
Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
It's an AI, technically.
During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it.
Oh, it could be powered by the Hydro Archon's, whatever that thingy is. I don't know. I forgot what it's called. Genosis, yes, or Gnosis, whatever that thing is. I think it's being operated by that.
From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Oh. So it wasn't a coincidence that it involved a basement to switch the box.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box.
Yeah, that hallway was pretty small.
So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
And with Lynette as your assistant, you could, show the audience that he was still there. Wow, this trick is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute
Wait,
this step.
wait. You completely go. Then you vented. Oh my god. What are we gonna show? What are we gonna tell these people, man? What are we gonna tell these people? Hold on. I need my toggle for this. There we go. Linny, you can't be telling the judge that you vented in the basement. and expect them to not execute. What are you doing?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
There's... Ooh, that could be the murderer.
Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room.
So this unknown person is the murderer. Alright.
That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came.
Recognize.
On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought.
Okay.
After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
So during the time it took for him to go and reach the core, someone else had committed the crime, and that person saw Linny outside of the box.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Why do you want to understand how the Order Crease works?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
Oh, that this nation is going to be flooded. I see. So it's a natural disaster in this nation.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Everything he says does make sense. So yeah, I believe in the facts. I will defend you from these charges.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence, which is true.
Huh?
The adjournment is almost over. Let's go back.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Yeah, it's a statement. And the person that was in the chamber along with it. Yo, this room is actually pretty nice. Actually, going back. Yay!
Step on up!
The brief adjournment ends, and the nail-biting trial continues.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Now this looks like something out of that one board game. What was it called? The one with the objection meme. Phoenix Wright. Yeah, whatever. Oh, what is this? Based on the opposition's account of the event, you can identify loopholes in their statement. Use evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous, assertions of the fact and replace them with new inferences. Use your reputations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. The auditories will display such gifts clearly. So the audience is the jury. Nice. When you find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth. Alright. I'm the blue.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowl's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
Okay, first off, this guy, the whole thing about kidnapping this girl, the truth, they have no affiliation with this girl. That is something we know already. Point number two is that how should we say it? If Cal was like, if the whole troop is involved, like if he has an accomplice, then why is Cal here? Wouldn't Linny have given him an order to not stay in the tunnel? Just saying he shouldn't be here in that case.
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw.
The traveler is speaking. Cool. Okay, it's this first off. I think it's fine. I think this is a loophole. Let's see, we can use this.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Yep. Linny knocked Halsey out using the verse. However, what's Linny really in the tunnel at that time? Yeah, I mean, we have done this. We need to. Maybe this?
Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
The existing evidence indicated when Linny returned to the town. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think this will refute the very last. Yeah, this could be it. Yes.
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Wait, the last point.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored.
Your Honor, my client went in the basement, so he is not sus.
Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent!
Yay! Oh, it's swinging in the middle.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Wasn't it awesome?
You're very cool, Paimon.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
Okay, hold on. Let me look. Yeah. The onstage equipment was clearly tampered with in a predetermined fashion. However, you say that Cowell bumped into Linny by chance?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell them! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Oh, what? Another different one? Maybe this?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought?
Oh. Oh, so all of these are irrelevant. What is this? Did I not investigate something? Okay, so only these three are irrelevant. Maybe this one.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought?
God. Okay, this one, I guess. This wasn't explained at all. Oh, what is this? We have more stuff.
That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent.
I gotta stop. I gotta stop that
Clue
joke.
you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof. How do you like that?
No.
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Well, at least Linny is kinda, you know, safe. Another. Why can't we just use one type of event? Select the gear icons in the interface to check the corresponding case question. Select the answers and fill all the empty gears to verify the correctness of your deduction. If you have made mistakes, you must make another selection from the remaining options. Once you have answered all the questions correctly, you can complete this logic chain. The guard investigation report indicates that the fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the rope suspending the water tank for the stage. This caused the water tank to fall and kill Cal in the box below. Okay. If Linny is no longer under suspicion, only the other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. That is true. Linny gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work by using a box inside a box. The idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Linny himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of on-stage interactions. So Lynette isn't responsible as well. What I was the clothes belonging to Hazley, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The radio made the phone. Okay. Select any clue to view detailed information. Let's see about
Could
this
there
one.
have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Yes. How many times do I have to say that? 100% a third person is involved, because the kidnapped girl is still nowhere to be found. What the? Okay.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along?
I doubt it, because the troop members had no clue of who she was.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
That is true, and he was also in the tunnel. Oh, he is part of the event. Okay.
Huh? That can't be right. Are you serious?
Yep.
The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Although it could have been any other member, but because Cowell was specifically in the tunnel, he could have caused this.
Oh, is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Okay.
Clothing with...
Oh, it changes. The question changes. Oh my god, I am dumb. I am actually dumb. This question changes.
Lenny was not in the...
I'm supposed to answer this question up at the top. Alright. Who's the prime suspect currently? It's Cal.
The deceased's name is...
Where is the missing? Here we go. Okay.
No one entered or left...
Oh, the last one is incorrect. But that is...
It would have been tough for both people...
I mean... Huh? Oh, it was meant to be wrong. I see. We don't have the answer. Understood the methods behind his magic trick and must have been in a position to easily modify the equipment. That is true. Leaving aside how he died, Cowell had all the means to commit the crime at his disposal. This could likely have been the sound of Cowell and Faustly struggling. Linny was not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This would have given time for Cowell to bring Faustly out of the magic palace in the audience stand. But according to the guard's testimony, no one entered or left the opera house, so even if he had taken her, there'd be no means of exiting. The girl is still inside the opera house. Exiting from the box would have been in full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteed that they would have been discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
She's still in the opera house somewhere.
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track?
But we're not at a dead end. We know a lot of the things.
Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Magic? Escaping from the water tank? Would it have been the water?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents. But do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
Oh, we're losing.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Yo, Novelet, chill. Hold on a second.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Now, what is the 4th piece of evidence that we're missing? The glass wall.
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
Hey, let's go.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
Corina, you live in a world that has anemo hypostasis, the elemental beings, the dragons and such. And you think this can't happen? That is preposterous. I request that we examine Cowell's personal effects.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well.
What does he know? Huh? What does he know? He doesn't know anything. He's just a boy, alright? He's just a magician boy. He doesn't know anything. My boy doesn't know anything. You will talk to me.
Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about 2 completely different things.
You control 3 water Pokemon. You don't even get to say anything.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment.
Hey.
The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense.
I just want to say something. How has no one, up until this point, even checked the deceased belonging, considering this is a murder case? Because, you should know that checking the valuables of the deceased would give you a clue as to why the person was even killed in the first place. How has no one checked his belongings? How?
Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him.
That is so stupid. That is the first thing people pay attention on in a murder case. Like, why would this person be murdered? Would he have something of value?
But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
It wouldn't hurt. It should have been done a long time ago.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress.
Man, he got the pose. He got the pose. That's a downright devious pose. Hold on, let's look at it. Hey, look at that pose.
Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
A guard returns with the news. Okay.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately.
Huh?
The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
There was a fourth person. Then that means that person went into the core of the Oratrice Mécanique. Whatever that is.
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times.
Yo, we threw our dice on the table and they brought us sixes. Let's go.
One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
The girl, it has been dissolved. Damn.
The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
Yeah, let's go.
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Lady, let's try it on you. How about it?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
What about us? Please don't leave me. Boss!
Order! Order!
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll keep quiet.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found.
Well, if it's going by suspicion, she's probably dead, dissolved into water that was, like, below the waist.
Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all.
Right. That is true. That is true.
Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Oh my god, not this again. Who's the prime suspect?
The
This
deceased's
guy.
name is...
What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the dissolution? Dissolution. No?
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism.
Dissolve hastily, that would be the
water
water?
from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
Okay. What item to hide the mechanism behind the crime? The rope?
The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. As such, the focus here is on the water.
I think this is it. It wasn't it.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time.
No, that is stupid.
I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
The balloons? The balloons? Oh, that is the right. Okay.
Ahem. It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
That's what the name was. The game's name was Ace Attorney. Or was it? I'm actually confused.
In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
Hey, I was right.
When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Now, what was that something unexpected? We have no idea.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
It's normal.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Guys, look, this is fine now.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
Oh?
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Oh, we're doing this again.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent.
Stop mentioning that, please.
Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
What? Why?
Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization.
Why would he do that to his own account?
Am I right? Mr. Linny.
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
No, Linny would never do this. And besides, even if he was an accomplice, shouldn't they have just, you know, like if he wanted to him, they should have just done it after the case was settled. Oh, it's heavily against us.
Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now. And we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
Oh, the 3 points have been levied against us.
My
It's bad.
good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
I object.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance?
This brings everything back to the start.
Come on, Lenny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
I'm so tempted to edit another water tank falling on the new box. But let's see where this goes.
And voila.
Whoa! She's alive!
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence.
Sentence? What sentence? What happened?
I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
They are the mafia of this country, after all.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one.
So she stole one from the original Halsey? Is what I'm getting at?
That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Oh! That's at the very start when we got introduced to Linny and Lynette. Oh my god, this story is genius.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me.
That was Cowell, wasn't it?
I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box.
Okay. Alright. He's a fighter.
There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
They are practically if they are practiced hand at concealment properly, a professional thief would make it work.
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it.
I mean, yeah, he wasn't part of the trick, so
Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
you know, thievery does lead to people dying in the end because, well, you know what, that's a whole debate on its own.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Yeah, now it's time to refute the Hydra Archon's previous reasoning.
This
Bring
time,
up the board.
we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
Let's go, it's my turn. That's fine. Halsey was not dissolved because she is not from Fontaine. Wait a minute, all of this is different. Well, there's a loophole in this 100%. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Oh my god. Is there nothing in here?
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
I see what I have to do. Okay. Oh, that's her running away. Lord. And you wanted all the credit? Of course, that is not the case. Let's see. She stuffed him in a box. Maybe this one?
The
Yes.
flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell.
Okay, now Cal has been knocked out. Yeah.
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved.
This middle art is so freaking funny.
He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box.
She would have died.
The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Dang it. Oh my god, it's neutral again. I swear, if some other piece of evidence comes up and she basically gets the jury to side on her side for Rina, I mean,
She would have to go
I'm gonna
through
lose my
guard
mind.
inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
How long has she been living for 2 days without food or water? Because we had a party. The macarons that went missing. She stole Paimon's macarons.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So,
my
she
God.
swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
Oh my god. This story is pretty good.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story. Bravo! Bravo!
What are you clapping about, bro? Oh, it's in our favor now.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements?
Get clowned.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have
She was
concluded.
trying to run away.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
This is the Hydro Archon, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events.
You know, the whole balloon theme was going on also throughout this entire arc. If I remember correctly, Linny called Paimon a balloon at the very start when we first interacted with Farina. Then balloons were mentioned when we first examined the two boxes. Then a balloon was also used to, you know, commit a crime, and then now Farina is acting like a deflated balloon. That's pretty interesting to look at.
The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list.
How are you suddenly on the ground, buddy boy?
With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Liliane was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Liliane. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim.
He didn't realize that the woman he was fighting was independent. She didn't need no man. She's a young, powerful, independent woman.
Liliane, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Oh, he's now up at the top again.
While there is much in Linny and Liliane's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
What is that? Whoa. Oh, you got a card.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Oh my god. Let's go. And then load shedding happened. This is a very third world country thing, specifically in my own country, where the government has the ability to just turn off your power up like that whenever they want. We can't really say anything about it. They don't really give us a proper schedule, and it can just happen whenever. It results in the destruction of many electronic devices. Those can be your fridges, your TVs, your computer, or whatever. But for me, it led to sometimes my recording getting interrupted, right? And I will tell you when it happens during the video, as it happens many times during the recording of this series, as I had no idea when exactly load shedding was going to happen. So forgive me if this interrupts your viewing experience, but I literally can't do anything about it. And it pisses me off as much as it might piss you off watching. And I apologize. Yes. Excuse me. So, minor inconvenience. We're back again.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Yay! Oh, I mean, let's not celebrate just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes?
Oh.
I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
Coupon Town?
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
Ooh, so there is another evil person that wants the Fatui to take the blame. Interesting.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes?
Quickly, reveal this name before a hitman suddenly snipes you in the head.
Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
Oh no, he got cut off. He's dead, isn't he? Oh my god, someone sniped him in the head. Someone got a 360 no scope on his head. Hey! He got dissolved. He turned into water. Oh my god.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
A second murder? Crazy.
So, we're just going back now?
I can do my dailies. The problem seems to have been solved for now. We're not needed here anymore.
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Linny...
Not even turning around.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't wish to see anyone be falsely accused.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight.
Oh no, are we getting a backstory? Let's hear it.
I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me.
Oh.
That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
Ah, one of the Harbingers.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
Shh. This is such a statement. She's your father. Oh my god. Well, I guess gender performity has affected this game as well.
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, Would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past.
Oh, we are getting the story.
Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there.
To earn a living.
To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever.
Street rat. That brings memories of a very famous animated cartoon from the 90s.
Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
Oh god. I don't think this is going where I think it's going, but I mean, I think I know where this is going, but I hope that it's not where this is going.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days.
It is going where I thought it was going.
But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
I mean, you're still better off than being on the streets in this case.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
Hey, Paimon, let's go. Same brain cells.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was.
Oh no, what did he do?
After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me.
Oh no. No.
I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Ew! Brother, ew! What the heck? Oh, the noble gave him to a cupcake enjoyer. Ew, bro. Ew.
Oh, no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
So what happened next? I wish I had a discuss toggle. I don't. And I don't think I can make it within like, 10 to 15 minutes.
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
Oh, good.
And the knave,
oh, good.
standing there in the darkness.
Oh, good. We got a better ending. We actually got a better ending. Justice was served. I'm happy now.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
Also, Paimon, why are you assuming their father is a woman?
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in the basement.
Oh my god, that is worse. That is so much worse than what I was expecting.
Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
But yeah, she could be after the Gnosis.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
But then it's going to go to Tsaritsa.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
It makes sense to believe that prophecy, especially now that we know that people are dissolving into water.
Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine
Oh
can
my
indeed
God.
dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy.
Oh my god, I'm reading the script. Hello?
Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their roots in Fontaine. And we will always defend our homeland.
Both of what? Both of these and...
To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
That is a very sad story.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
But I still can't completely trust you. You did not, reveal everything
It's
immediately.
alright, I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right.
But are you being used? That's not something you know, right?
If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
I understand. Goodbye.
Bye, Linny.
A twist of great magic. Achievement. Where am I going? Oh, do we have something else to do here? Oh, Navia. Hello.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
I mean, what else do I have to do?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
Well, I need to do my daily commissions, Navia, so I hope you understand. Goodbye.
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
I wish to do the daily commissions.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now?
That is true.
And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ah. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all.
Look, morbid curiosity is a dangerous thing, alright? And even though I am curious about this case, I still want to do my dailies.
Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer.
Alright, Aristotle.
Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
You know what? Let's go.
Huh?
Why not?
Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later.
I guess that is a good point.
Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Let's grab a meal.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
All right, then. Let's have our farewell meal.
Let's go. Act 1 complete. I cannot pronounce that achievement. Finally, we can walk into the sunshine. It's been an entire day. In real life, too. I missed my last dailies.